Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Raskulls. This is michaelalfox, Mr. Awesome Guy. So we're starting out Chapter 3. This is the third and final chapter, right? So you definitely want to pay attention to this one. And this is obviously the first part of Chapter 3. So the story here is you play as King, if you're not already aware. This guy is super hopeless, oblivious, and the whole cliche ignorance is bliss totally fits him. He just goes into something and he's just, I don't know what it is, but you love him. And he has this rivalry against Viking. Back in the day, they competed, and apparently King cheated, and the Viking knew about it, but King denies it, and so now they're just getting back at each other again, and Viking is trying to exact his revenge on King. And that actually got me thinking about if you guys have ever watched Seinfeld before, or still watch it. I still watch it, it's a great show. There's this one episode where Jerry is telling a story about how in high school he was in a race and he somehow got a head start and nobody noticed except for one other guy who was in the race, right? He noticed, and Jerry won, of course, so the guy was mad because he's like, well, he shouldn't have won, he got a head start, he cheated. But Jerry, of course, denies it to him and he just laughs about it and just makes the guy hate him that much more, right? So after all these years, he runs into Jerry again, and that's pretty much the first thing he brings up. He was saying how he would have won that race and he was the faster one, but Jerry went out of high school with the legacy of being the fastest. So the guy, that really got to him. So he challenges Jerry to a race, and Jerry eventually accepts, and they take to the streets of New York, and they have their race. And by God, would you know it, but Jerry, somehow he gets a head start again, and nobody notices, not a person, and he wins. And, well, the other guy, he notices, and so everybody's cheering, woohoo, Yankees win, Yankees win, and the other guy's just like, no, he had a head start, and it kills you, because normally you'd be hating on a person like Jerry. You'd be like, oh, that guy's a cheater, it's the only way he can win is by cheating, etc., etc., but you just actually enjoy it more because you see how much it bothers the other guy. And I don't know, I just think that episode's great, and that for some reason reminded me of this little rivalry between King and Viking. You're just like, Viking, shut up, nobody cares. But he still keeps at it. So yeah, that was it's a good episode. Go watch Seinfeld if you haven't, or if you have, go watch it again. You know you wanna. So anyways, I'm gonna get back to talking more about gaming. Sorry about that little plug for Seinfeld. No, I did not get paid for that. I was actually watching an interview with a couple of the developers from Half-Brick, and they were talking about their influences and one of the main attempts that they're trying to make with this game. Like they themselves say they mentioned two of the influences, Mr. Driller and Mario Kart, which is pretty obvious if you played the game, or even if you're looking at it, it should seem pretty obvious. And they're saying their biggest focus was actually local multiplayer, and that got me thinking, because I find a lot of new games that's not top. I'm not saying it should be at the top of their priority list, but it certainly isn't. And actually, it got me thinking even more about some experiences I've had with local multiplayer, or lack thereof. I have two brothers, one of which, well, we all play video games together, but I'm the youngest and the next oldest. We talk about it and play lots of different games, more so together than we do with our eldest brother. Anyways, we live several hundred kilometers apart, which kind of sucks at times. But you'd think, well, just play online together. Problem was, my brother, where he was living for a while, they didn't have any internet service providers out in the area, and the only way you could get internet was, I think, with like one of those Rogers sticks, which are inadequate for online gaming. For anybody, watching that lives outside of Canada, Rogers and Bell are our two biggest, monopoly internet, phone, television. They're like the AT&T and the Verizon, all that crap. Anyways, you can get one of those little 3G sticks to plug into your computer or whatever, and then you have internet. But you can't really do gaming for that. That's not good. So anyways, the only time we get to play games together is when we're sitting on the same couch visiting each other. But then some games we'd be like, oh, let's play this together, and they wouldn't have local multiplayer. And I'm talking like new, like Xbox 360 titles. And we'd be like, what the hell? And then you would see that you could play it online, like do co-op together, but it was online. You'd just be thinking, why can't you do it locally? It's easier to do, right? There's less technical hurdles. And to me, playing co-op together, far and away better when you're sharing the same screen, looking at the same stuff, and you don't have lag or anything like that. That got me thinking even more just about local multiplayer in general. It's just like, I know it's becoming less and less common because, I love online as well, don't get me wrong. It's great for when you have people that live, in different countries or across the sea or wherever they may be. It makes gaming together possible, right? But there's certain things with local that you can't replace with online, right? Just sitting on the same couch, smelling the same wretched farts and eating the same food and drinking and just all those things, it's pretty much impossible to really replicate when you're playing online together. So I was just thinking, like, that got me even thinking about a bigger question of just like retro gaming, right? Where all you had was local multiplayer, or even if it was single player, I found that just to be just as fun was passing the controller back and forth. But I'm thinking, like, what do you guys consider retro gaming in 2011? What would you consider to be retro gaming? Because I don't think that's necessarily a written in concrete kind of thing. It's like, I think it shifts with time as video game technology and culture becomes more advanced, right? So, like, would you consider the Nintendo 64 / PlayStation 1 era, is that considered retro, or does it have to be older? Maybe nothing after the Super Nintendo, or I don't know. So in the comments, or even if you're super adventurous and awesome, post a video response. I'd gladly approve that. Tell everybody, discuss it. What do you think retro gaming is? What's your reasoning? Stuff like that. I think it's a pretty important question, and as well, share your stories about multiplayer and where you think that's gonna go. You've got stuff like Microsoft Kinect is out now, and PlayStation Move and stuff like that. That makes multiplayer. It's a whole different ball game there as well. So let's talk about it. Retro gaming, multiplayer, comments, video responses. Do it to it, people. Do it to it. Oy vey. Sorry, that was really long-winded, and I haven't even really been talking about what I've been doing in this Let's Play. But I think you can see, this is the kind of game you learn by seeing, and then you learn by doing, actually, but it's pretty straightforward. What was I going to say? Also, I don't like to do this too often. I don't like doing plugs or anything like that. But, hey, if you like my content and you're watching right now and you haven't subscribed, why not go do it, right? That's because I'm producing lots of content, and hopefully it's good. If it's not, I like to hear feedback. So, you know, whether it's you send me a message, you post on my wall, you post in the comments on any video, I don't really care. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say about what I'm doing and what you'd like to see me do, stuff like that. So, yes. And also, feel free to post my videos wherever, if you want people to see them. Facebook, Twitter, just link them to your friends, do whatever. I'm trying to get this stuff out there, right? So anyways, that's enough shameless plugging. And that's going to be it for this video, for part 1. We're going to come back in a day with part 2. We're going to obviously venture further into Chapter 3, do some more stuff. And then once we finish up with Chapter 3, we're going to take on the bonus levels and the mega challenges, which is where the real fun begins. So stay tuned. We're going to keep chipping away at it. So I'll catch you all guys later. Have a good one. I love you. Peace out.